Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my Chrono Trigger perspective. Now, I played this on Steam, and this was my first time playing it, and I'd heard great and awesome things about this, and I thought it was okay. It really started kind of just cheesing my ass at the end fighting the fucking Lavos character. Oh my god. Fucking shit. That... Mainly the third one. So, this mainly deals with a lot of time travel, pretty much introducing us to Chrono, and then Marley, Luca, at this kind of Millennium Fair. Kind of celebrating the Millennium, like that, hey, the kingdom defeated the Fiend dude, and we're all cool and all that kind of stuff. It's like, alright, cool. So we see that Chrono kind of bumps into Marley, who we learn later is Princess Nadia of the Guardia Kingdom. And she's got this amulet. And Luca's pretty much got this kind of teleporter that she's working on. It's like, alright, cool. They pretty much try and do her kind of teleport her, because they teleport Chrono first. And then this kind of weird thing opens up, this time gate, and sucks her ass in. And it's like, okay. So then we pretty much go on this kind of time traveling kind of thing. Now, I do like the anime elements. I mean, Akira Toriyama, the character design is awesome. I've got no beef on that. It's mainly how it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this one for like 1000 AD, then we're gonna have 600 AD, we're gonna have 65 million BC, we're gonna have 12,000 BC, we're gonna have 2300 AD, and all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, you really... It's mainly like going through different kind of time periods. We're getting kind of the future kind of stuff with our kind of turn-based combat. We're getting the past kind of stuff with the medieval times. We get the middle kind of ground kind of stuff within Chrono and Marley's kind of time period. But it really doesn't change much on the gameplay front. I mean, Luca's pretty much with the guns, but she's the only one with that. Marley is with crossbows and kind of bow and arrow kind of stuff. Then we've got the frog dude, also named Glenn. Robo, who's kind of more punchy. Isla's a punchy one as well. Then you can also, recruit the Demon Lord dude, Magus. Fiend Lord dude. He's got a scythe and all that. And it's more kind of like in this kind of realm of your typical kind of Final Fantasy where you wait for your like action gauge to kind of fill up and then kind of fight it on that. That I really had no problem with. Like, I got that. I got the farming kind of down where I was trying to get, like, TP points to, like, unlock certain kind of skills and technical things. So that way I could, like, beat wholesale ass. And also have, regards to, like, healing kind of stuff. Weird kind of thing, though, is Marley is kind of, like, pumped up as the kind of healer. However, most of her, like, group heals are down to kind of techs that you do with, like, Chrono. Like, it's a tech that kind of takes out both of your action bars. And the only one that kind of, like... I had to start utilizing Robo with her to do kind of, like, more of a group heal and the whole, like, kind of life heal... break glass in case of emergency kind of thing, where you got it stocked up that if you get your ass killed, you kind of, like, auto-revive yourself. I needed that constantly with the fucking Lavos last fucking boss fight. Holy shit. So you pretty much go through each kind of time period and try and figure out kind of what's going on. You have to rescue Marley first because they think that she's the queen, because she looks like her great ancestor, so we got to kind of get her back and save her from fiends, and then get her back and be like, holy fucking shit, shit's going on with the chancellors. And it's like, what the fuck's kind of going on? Especially in the present, because it's like a fiend dude, and we have to deal with that. Well, the thing is, you can deal with that, or you might not deal with that. If you're not going for any kind of guide, you kind of could get fucked over here. You could literally just accidentally fucking fight the last boss when you're underlevel and got no fucking clue of what's going on. Or you do things that give you a kind of end state scenario that kind of really fucks you over. There's a lot of different kind of things at play that doesn't really get telegraphed very well. I mean, for its time, I could understand. It's like, oh, it promotes more replayability and everything like that. But it's more of a like, I accidentally stepped on a landmine, because you didn't tell me, or be like, there's no kind of landmine. Like, yes, I get that, like, at a certain kind of point, the whole point of a landmine is to make you go, ha, fuck you, asshole. But the thing is, if you're like in medieval times, just like, I got blown the fuck up. How in the fucking shit ass fuck did that happen? It's like, okay. Like, it's not really well telegraphed what could fuck you over and what might not fuck you over. Like, I got the frog dude to get changed back to a dude, but that's mainly at the end because I was able to do it. I got everybody together. We get to the end. We beat the Lavos dude, which is like this parasite that's burrowed into the earth from 65 million BC and has been doing all this kind of shit. And then we like beat that fucking thing. It's evidently connected to an entity that's like opening the time gates or whatnot. And we got everyone back into their time period. We also have access to the Epoch, which is a time-traveling ship, and Chrono's mother is like chasing a cat and gets sucked into a time portal. It's like, alright, fine, we're done here. We gotta go find your mom. It's like, alright, cool, because they were gonna fucking toast the goddamn thing. It's like, we gotta go get your mom. But the frog dude got turned into a frog by Megas, and I guess you could pretty much get some kind of stuff. Like, I put them together in a party mainly so that Megas would have his kind of bigger kind of magical attacks, and then I'd have the healing with the frog. That's what I tried first on the Lavos thing, final boss thing, which, fuck me. Boss fights, up until a point, are fine. You pretty much learn what's going on, and then can kind of go from there. Lavos is stupid because the first couple things you got to deal with is that it does pretty much the boss rush thing, which goes through every kind of boss that you've gone through so far. It's like, alright, fine. Goes through another one, so you kind of fight it like 4 times. You do the boss rush one, and then you do an actual one, and then you're able to kind of like save. Thank God. I thought I was going to have to get sucked in for a certain amount. But then you have to make sure you have the good party kind of vibes. Otherwise, you go into the third phase, and you're like, fuck. Alright, cool, I got through. But then you get into the last one, and if you don't have that right thing, it just spirals out of control with the RNG of like, oh, you can curse me and get rid of like the status immunity, which I'm specifically wearing gear to counteract, but wait, fuck me, that's right. And then you're like going through, and then you have to keep going through that stuff again. Like, it frustrated me to no end. I'm like, God damn it. I mean, I wasn't doing this for days, but I was like, I just want this to be over with. Because Chrono's a silent protagonist, so not much there. Marley, Luca, alright, cool. The stuff that was going on with Robo and Glenn, the frog, Magus, sure, but I didn't, and Isla, I didn't really kind of connect to these characters because you first get pretty much put in the kind of time periods and they kind of feel like themselves, and you're like, okay, alright, fine. I just kind of went through the game. I didn't really feel anything or whatnot until we started getting into certain kind of things, which was really kind of later into the effect of it, of learning about Lavos, what happened with Zeal, this fucking queen that's like going nutty Harley Doodah because Lavos is like infecting her. That links up to Magus, who was a little kid who gets fucking thunder chucked throughout time and then tried to pretty much kill Lavos, but became like a fiend lord kind of thing. And then it's like, alright. It kind of gets more messy than it needs to be. I would almost rather have been just alternate realities, which I think potentially is what kind of goes on with like Chrono Cross. Because Luca finds a fucking crazed ass, like, not a crazed ass baby. It's not like on, but finds a baby out of nowhere that's got like an amulet. It's like, alright, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I don't think it's well, with how it was like, oh, I think like if you're doing boss battles, you should have like save points after certain kind of things. Now that's more modern. Sure. Okay, cool. But it was like a time sink to do that kind of stuff. But it's like, it just didn't hit with me mainly on the story front. It's playing it and everything was competent, but I just didn't get pulled into the characters and how it was executed was the main kind of thing. I didn't get everything kind of like wrapping and coming together until the end when we started getting stuff of like Luca's mother and having her regrets. Robo dealing with like his Robo girlfriend. And Lavo's pretty much trying to like destroy everything because that's how his kind of parasitic nature kind of worked. It just didn't hit for me. I don't think it's... how the boss design encounter at the end, I do have a problem with. Especially with, like, okay, you have to go through like, there are other ones where you have to go through, like, multiple phases of certain kind of boss fights, which I still think isn't really good design. But at least you could pause if you're like, I need to fucking do a bathroom break, motherfucker. I need to go eat. I need to get the fuck out of here because I need a little break from this goddamn thing because it's taking too goddamn long. I can understand why it connects and resonates with so many people, but it just didn't for me. And I mean, that sucks, but I mean, it happens. I think just it's mainly whenever I go with any kind of like a video game perspective or whatnot, it's what is this thing trying to do? And the thing is with the RPG, the story is the main kind of draw. Now, gameplay was fun enough. I could like grind and take on these new things and just like get the kind of resources I needed. That was actually pretty fun because I would just like beat the fucking shit out of it and just work pretty well with what my characters were doing and get them leveled up and everything. And I was like level 55-ish fighting Lavos at the end, and just it felt more that like the game just randomly picked shit to fuck me rather than me fucking myself. Like I can, if I go like when I was doing Kingdom Hearts 2 and I had to fight Sephiroth and I was doing it at a low level, I knew I was fucking myself. And I probably wouldn't have the skills and the armaments necessary to take on that motherfucker. That was more of a challenge that I did for myself. This, I had the gear. I had the techs. I had the spells and everything. And when the boss pretty much has a thing like, fuck that thing. I will affect you with status elements. You will be confused and be able to do nothing. You will be asleep. You will have no ability to use. Motherfucker. I was like, yeah, that's not me dick punching myself. Okay? Like, I could take the skill issue and it's just like, then it's just RNG to like, okay, can I survive this? Can I get back around to utilize all three of my actions on a one shot for these characters to get back and recharge it so that we have to get one shot again? How do I take this? Then I pretty much got done to the bit because you had to focus on three of them. One was a healer motherfucker that you had to take out. The other one was a dude that was able to do magic and like physical abilities that were just like fuck your ass over. And then you had to target the fucking right one that had 30,000 fucking HP. It's just like there's a point where you have just like health sponge that motherfucker, and it's not fun. It's just more like, and I understand you're presenting a challenge to try and overcome, but there comes a certain point where that doesn't do shit for me. I need the marriage of the challenge and the story and everything, but when you amp my frustration up to the point of like, it's not my skill or anything, it's will the game go into a state where I'm able to beat it. Where it's like, the RNG doesn't put it to a point where I've spent off all of my revives, my characters can take effective actions to remedy what has occurred. That is kind of what peeved me off with it, where I'm like, it's not like I'm intentionally dive bombing off the edge. It's not like I'm intentionally stubbing my toe, cracking myself into taint, and just being a complete and utter dipshit. It's, I have these tools. The game is like, fuck your tools. Eat my ass with a blade of grass, and have a very Merry Christmas if you very much do. Go back, blast previous boss fight, and come back again. It's like, no. That really affected, like, because I was kind of more enjoying it as everything was kind of coming together. It's like, alright, I beat the Black Omen kind of shit. I got the Queen kind of situated. Let's go beat this Lavos motherfucker. And it's like, alright. It just didn't jive well with me. And I mainly go into how it's kind of set up and executed with the boss battle. Do I think that overall completely fucks over the game? No. Does it fuck over my enjoyment? Yes. And if you're thinking, fuck you, I love this thing, that's cool. I want you to love it. This isn't me trying to shit on your favorite game. This is just me saying, I didn't have a good time. This is why I didn't have a good time. I hope you still enjoy this and love this motherfucker like ain't nobody's business, and hold it up and be like, babe, do it. You know what I mean? Like, my goal here is not to completely shit on it, and I didn't thumbs down this thing. It's more like, huh? Like, it's probably because of its kind of place in the JRPG kind of, like, ecosphere, that time period-wise and everything, what it did well enough to be like, yeah, alright, cool. And you look up in some other ones, and then we, like, advance further with Final Fantasies and Dragon Quests and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, okay, I think the time traveling kind of elements and, like, building that into it is kind of what probably hamstrung this franchise as it went on, but also because it, like, had, like, a lot of fucking people from, like, disparate kind of places going on with it. I mean, this started off on the Super Nintendo. And had, like, designers at Square dubbed the Dream Team with, like, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Square's Final Fantasy series, Yuji Horii, creator of Enix's Dragon Quest series, and Akira Toriyama, character designer of Dragon Quest and author of the Dragon Ball manga series. Like, that's, like, I don't even know who I would be able to, like, put together nowadays that would kind of put that on that kind of realm. And especially with, like, all those different kind of people together, you'd be like, what the fuck? And it's kind of crazy that I bring up, like, Final Fantasy and, like, Dragon Quest and kind of in that sense they had people from it. It just, sometimes you get a lot of things that kind of combine. It's like, okay, you would think that this could be someone's peanut butter and chocolate, your Reese's peanut butter cup, your fucking amazing thing. Wasn't like that for me. This was more like pickles and mustard. I'm not into pickles and mustard. No. So if, like, I had a burger that I specifically said I don't want pickles and mustard, and it came on it, I mean, as a kid I would drown that shit in ketchup, but then I'm not eating a burger, I'm eating ketchup. But hey, I'm a weird-ass motherfucker. I used to make just ketchup sandwiches because you know how you'd get something, like a sandwich or whatnot, and then you'd have that kind of bit at the end where you got, like, the bread and cheese? That's kind of the same concept that I had. Is that strange and weird and completely out of left fucking field? Yeah. But hey, you do some weird shit with food sometimes. And as you do some weird shit with games, too. Now, RPG-wise, I would potentially probably recommend this to someone to kind of get their feet wet with it. Because, barring you going completely and utterly into a weird situation where you accidentally fall into fighting the the final boss without being able to actually play the game, I think it would be able to get people introduced to the turn-based. It's colorful, it's bright, it's, like, I mean, the pixel and everything. I mean, everything on that. The music is fucking on point. Okay? Like, you'll probably be looking at me like, what? I'm like, top tier fucking music of, like, the 65 million BC, all that stuff. The music just hits like a motherfucker, and it works. I love the pixels and everything. The anime segments were really well done. I mean, there's no real voice acting for it, but they're beautiful. It's Akira Toriyama shit, man. It's good. But I would actually recommend this to people to kind of get a handle on JRPGs and on turn-based combat, actually, which would be kind of strange. I mean, it gets your feet wet with it, and then you can go for other ones, but I wouldn't go like, oh, I got my feet wet, I'm going to Shin Megami Tensei. Please, God, no, holy shit. On-ramp that shit by going to some kind of Persona game first, potentially. Mostly at this point 5, because of the quality of life improvements and everything. I would not recommend going to Persona 3 because I would tell you to understand how Persona 5 Royale works first, because they kind of bolted that onto Persona 3, so that's why it's like, whoa, and then kind of look at other ones. Like, I would more have the realm of going like, oh, okay, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, pretty much any one, like 7, 8, 9, 10. 12's MMO. Dragon Quest. Clair Obscur. Expedition 33. All that kind of stuff. So, So, those are my opinions on the game. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.